In 2017, we got Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is probably the most mixed opinions, the most mixed Star Wars movie for me. There are some things that work, but an overwhelming amount of things that are just don't make sense. Or if they don't make sense, they're just executed horribly. That's why we're talking about it today, because this is such a weird movie to talk about because of all the moving parts of it. Because the opening battle, a lot of people have problems with this, but here's the thing. If you don't think about, like, all the analytical things in the actual battle, it's a decent enough fight at the beginning of the movie. And, you have the explosions and everything, and that introduces you to Rose, which just throw away the character. And also in this movie, you can start to see Finn's, way he's starting to be thrown away in these movies. But, yeah. This is just about, basically, a little bit of an in-between movie, pretty much, where you have, Kylo Ren starting to move through his emo phase, and then you have basically all the characters there. You get to see Snoke is the main villain of this movie, and yeah, that's basically where we are. Yeah, there's fights, basically the whole rebellion is messed up, and yeah, nobody's really doing too well in this battle, and it's really just whatever, it's a losing battle on both sides, pretty much. Still, though, we do get some interesting sequences. We get to see a fun sequence where a Snoke ship, every time there's a shot of Snoke's, ship, it's just beautiful. It's freaking awesome. But, my most favorite part of the movie is the cinematography. The cinematography in this movie is beautiful. Whether you love the movie, hate the movie, or just don't really care anymore. The cinematography is amazing. Like, when everybody goes into hyperspeed to cut off a part of Snoke's ship, that cinematography there is amazing. In other parts, the cinematography is just great. Luke Skywalker, they do fumble a little bit, but it does make sense why he's like this if you think about it, because he came here because he failed. And this clearly is not the same Luke Skywalker we met in the original trilogy. It's basically this different universe at this point. But yeah. And, the final battle on Crate is extremely, fine. I mean, the cinematography, which I will not shut up about when talking about this movie, is still great. We get to see Luke Skywalker, like, go out there, basically as a ghost, kind of just move his existence to that planet. It's all weird and stuff. And, we get to see him there. And that's a very cool sequence. So they're firing on him and he's still there. So then Kylo Ren goes down and just basically tries to beat him up. Doesn't work. And, yeah, it's just a fun battle. I liked it, and yeah, this whole movie is just, it's okay. I mean, I do really like it because I went to go see these movies in the theaters. These are the Star Wars films I grew up with, so obviously I'm going to have some sort of biases that people who say grew up with the prequel trilogy or even the original trilogy aren't going to have the same opinion on, therefore making it different. Snoke, I will admit, they did fumble his character a little bit, because they basically just pushed him to the side. But I think the reason that Palpatine made Snoke everything, I think that's cool. It's good enough. Whatever. And the way to kill him is kind of dumb. But, yeah, other than that, that throne room battle is cool from just, like, a first watch standpoint. But I feel like the more you do watch it, the more it becomes. I mean, there's this one part where they're throwing this guy down a shaft and basically just lightning electrocutes him and just rips him to shreds. That's cool. I like that. And this just such a mixed movie. So I think the best way to do this is good, okay, and bad. Starting off with the good, again, the cinematography is great. Kylo Ren, when he has his mask on, is okay. There's the cinematography is obviously beautiful. Everything basically comes under the cinematography for good. Finn has some fine sequences. Yeah, basically just an all-around fine movie. Going into the okay category, that whole sequence on Canto Bight was so just an out-of-pocket moment for this type of movie. That's like, they didn't really need this to happen. They just need to add runtime. And, some things that go into the bad, race training was just abominable to watch. Because some of the other things didn't make sense. and just don't work in the long run. And then they just kind of now Star Wars is just trying to push them away, like a lot of other things. But, yeah, so, and again, the ending, people say Captain Phasma didn't make sense. I think it did, because she was set up in the first movie as somebody who was a foe to F to Finn, you know, because she was just, like, there bullying him. She was his, basically, boss, and she wasn't very kind, you know. So then, seeing him basically just fight her and basically cause her death is fun. That whole sequence in that hangar bay, I thought was cool to watch. You know, everything is just exploding. Finn as a battle, it's fun, it's cool. And after that, Finn basically just does nothing in the rest of the series, which annoys me. But yeah. Anyway, so all around, a pretty fine movie. There's a lot of things that are good. There's a few things that are good. There's quite a few things that are bad and okay. So, how would I rate this? A 5 out of 10. It's not good enough to be, it may be good enough to be a 6, but that's a little bit of a stretch. To call it a 4 or a 4.5 wouldn't be fair to some of the things that are really good, like the cinematography. So, maybe like 5.5 at best, but I think a 5 is a fair rating. If you enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.